my god, it looks like the internet's working. For now. Hope it does. Hello, hello. I don't know how this happened though, but the audio got messed with. Hello? 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 Anyway. I say like, oh, in the name of making it interesting, I guess I'm not going to sit here and farm on live stream, but we can go do something else. Jerry. Oh. The internet is still, it was a word, intermittence, intermittent. Anyway, I don't have any mittens. What we're going to do here, Jerry, super bright outside, but the lighting, otherwise, I look like I fucking am covered in powdered sugar. If I, whatever, without the light, regular lighting, like open the window, natural sunlight and stuff, yeah, like, um, gives a color to my skin versus just looking like all pasty. Now we do have spring and summer coming up here shortly. Oh my god, this guy's projector yet again. And then we have more Rift Lords. Coil Fang. For those of you who don't know, this is the Burning Crusade. I don't know how the internet just fixed itself. Like, it's still dropping some frames, but normally you have to have like a technician show up and like fix things, but I guess it's just a junction box or something. Where is the projector from Mechanar? I think. Awesome. What is it, Tuesday? Is today Monday or Tuesday? Yeah, well, yesterday was my birthday. When I added up all the calories that I ate, I realized I ate a lot more than I intended on eating. And yeah, I'm gonna have to work it off. It's a bunch of calories. So I skipped breakfast today, and I'll eat a limited breakfast here in the next hour or so probably. I don't know what the fuck happened to the audio. It seems like there should be microphone access. How do you turn up like the actual this used to be simple on like Windows XP. This used to make sense. Now it's like impossible to do. These are not the settings though. This is like fixing sound problems. Why do you have to look this up on the internet? Anyway, can you hear me? It seems like I have to fucking scream. Why is it doing this? Can you hear me? Like, I've got it turned up. You know, there's no setting on here. I don't know why it's not like, whatever, like it was used to doing. But there should be a way to sound settings, right? Volume, speakers, micro. There we go. Hello, hello. Did somebody monkey with the settings? Hello, hello. Hello. Lori. Luke, I am your father. Hello, hello. That's better. Hello. Hello. This is obviously an attack from the Communist Chinese. Alright. There, I think I got it figured out. Hello. You want the thing to be in the green. You don't want it to get into the yellow, but you definitely don't want it to get into the red. So just keep on keeping on. Should be good. I think we all but figured it out. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say, really. I mean, looking what? How are you guys doing? How are you? Are you there? Right. It's been a while since I've done this, so I've kind of like lost my momentum, if that makes sense. Like, so I hope I can keep it interesting, if that's even the point here. I don't think that's the point, but whatever. I need a water jug. heroic. It seems like every day the dailies the same thing. Yeah, I tried to stream on X yesterday, and then it kept saying, yeah, it's connected to the stream, but it wouldn't post it on my X account. So, yeah, well, so this is what we're doing now. Do you want me to sheep something? Oh, we have 2 mages. Derp. It's so bright outside, man, but I have to have this window open. I can barely see my screen. Wow. Riveting. Riveting. He's arcane. Let's say he's doing double my damage, but he's also arcane spect. So, and he's got pretty good gear too. Where do those drop? Black Morass. Sometimes people don't want you to crowd control, sometimes they do. And I think we can do it without crowd control, but the theme here lately is people trying really, really hard in five mans to the point where like you just don't even have fun doing the shit. Like, and I have no reason to be here. I'm doing this just to fill time for the moment, you know. And it's kind of annoying, you know. People want to take away the the little bit, the little smidgen of fun that there is left. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't have salvation, that's why. Do we not have a paladin? We don't. It's very rare that we never have a paladin in our group. Or that we don't, rather. 80% of the time it works every time, right? But yeah, like, my reason for streaming was, well, I had multiple reasons, you know. It was doing good filling time and all that stuff, but like I've kind of lost momentum with it because the internet's been hit and miss, and I haven't had the people here to fix it. You know, I don't necessarily like inviting like strangers into my home to like walk around and do stuff, so I'm kind of particular about that. Even though they are like cable repair guys and stuff, I just, you know, it's like pulling teeth to get me to do it. So the internet's been screwed up for a while, and now it seems to be sort of working. We're still getting some frames dropped, but other than that, yesterday, which today, I found out yesterday was my birthday. Yep. So, whoa, I'm 36 now. Kneel before me, slaves, right? It's like, good God, dude. That little bit of power went to your head, right? Yeah, I was waiting until my 36th birthday to do it. It's like my best friend ever. That's exactly how he is on his birthday. It's like, fucking hold the phone, right? The way he is about the shit. Cancel all your appointments. To not sell swords. Yeah, right. Pay him to not sell swords. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I need to go get a haircut too, though. I've been putting some things off. You know me. I was gonna get up and go to the diner in the morning yesterday for my breakfast, and I decided just to cook breakfast at home. Oh shit! My team, where did they go? Are they down there? Am I gonna pull this shit? They always do these skips and shit, man. And I swear it only complicates things. You know what I mean? That's like when I first started playing WoW, there was no like, you know, Grandpa, right? Grandpa World of Warcraft. There was no like, oh well, you fucking skip these pulls, you don't do that or whatever. You're like, you killed pretty much everything you could, you know, every time you did an instance, really. Now the kids these days, right? They're all about skipping. which usually means you have to know how to do like these elaborate ballet jumps around and like hop over boxes and stuff. And you know, what's shitty about it is people have like actually forgotten how to play like the actual World of Warcraft part. They've gotten so preoccupied with how do you skip as much as possible, right? Like sometimes it takes up to an hour and a half to skip. You know what I mean? Like in the name of saving 10 minutes, it takes an hour and a half, right? And I've yet to see one. Well, he had one yesterday that worked out all right, but I've really yet to see an instance where like skipping anything has actually made it quicker. It's only made it fucking take forever. The fucking World of Warcraft part is turned into a fucking parkour simulator instead of anything else, really. Let me guess, we're gonna do this different too, probably. No one, I'm not familiar. Oh, yep, see, parkour, parkour. Right. Yep. Yep, I knew it. Now all that stuff is there, right? Which that's not the worst, right? Like you can avoid that, but a little close for comfort there. Parkour legends. Ugh. In the name of getting this shit done sometime today, right? Popping trinkets, stacking center armor. That's one of the jokes, man. I don't know, like, I was flipping through TikTok the other day, and they were saying that one of the guys that created South Park was like, that, you know, like the most famous episode of South Park ever is the World of Warcraft episode, right? And one of the creators of South Park was saying like he was on like the brink of like quitting the show and all that stuff because they wanted to air that episode, and he thought that he thought it was terrible, and he thought everybody was gonna like laugh at him or whatever. I guess is whatever what he was saying, but like I almost don't believe it, right? Like how could you not think that that was? And the reason why I don't believe it is because the amount of forethought that had to go into making that episode. Like they had to actually like contact Blizzard and like probably had to talk on the phone and like sign paperwork and stuff, you know, to make it happen, like for licensing reasons probably. And the idea that you would put that much effort into like one episode of World of Warcraft and you wouldn't know by the time it was ready to air that it was going to be a smash hit, yeah, I don't believe it. Me personally, I'm like, no, that guy, they had to have known that that was going to be a really popular episode because like a bit more planning was required than just the regular amount to make that episode happen, right? Is that a positive sign? You guys getting a little close there. You know what I mean? Are you positive? No, you're negative. Who's the positive guy here? Are we all positives? Can we get the other positive guy to just scoot in just a little bit closer, please? So we can get that damage buff. Does that make sense though? My reasoning is for why it is that I don't believe that they didn't think that that episode was going to be a smash hit. Because like the amount of like, it was like something that required an amount of pre-planning that they would have scrapped it before it failed. You know what I mean? Whereas like a regular, I think an episode of South Park, they start like on Monday or whatever, and they by whatever the next day or whatever the fuck it is. So, oh shit, the idea that that they didn't like it, and they, you know, like they would have known long before. What was this guy saying to me? They would have known long before that the episode wasn't going to be good. Like I can't imagine they would have came as a surprise to them, given the amount of forethought and planning that they had to do to make it happen, right? So you can't fool me. Sometimes. But when that episode aired, dude, I got so much shit from all my friends, right? Right, yeah, all my friends at the time. Of course, I got called Cartman more than normal, needless to say. Which I got called Cartman before, but that didn't help because that made things worse, right? None of my real life friends understood the reason why. World of Warcraft was so awesome. But currently, I'm in this strange place in life where I'm basically just waiting. You know, I don't have like, for me to apply myself as far as work's concerned would just result in me like kicking mud. You know what I mean? Like spinning your tires in the mud because the market's not doing great right now and all that stuff. So like any attempt to try and like actually work is going to just be met with resistance and ultimately make things worse, really, which is kind of strange. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of on a not a hiatus, but just kind of trying to fill time because I know eventually things will pick up, and when they do, you know what I mean, like I'll be super busy for a while, and I was before, still am kind of, right? But it's that weird like space in between spaces where I'm like, what do you do with your time? Like quite literally, if I do anything at all, it only stands to make things worse, right? You know, so I'm kind of stuck there for now, which is shitty, you know what I mean? Super shitty. But hopefully it picks up here soon, you know. If it does, I will be a lot more busy than before when it does, rather. So this is like a World of Warcraft has been like a sitting on your hands measure. You know what I mean? Where is a distraction from what I want to do and want to be doing in the name of now's not a great time to be doing it, right? Totem of the something or another. The void. Totem of the void. But it's kind of funny though, like I don't tell people this story very much. It is kind of embarrassing though. So yeah, so buckle in, right? This really pretty girl, and I knew when I was growing up, right? I had the biggest crush ever on her. I found out years later that she really liked me for whatever reason. I guess she's into retarded guys or something. But I was playing like loads and loads of World of Warcraft at the time, and when I barely ever ventured out of my comfort zone when I was that age, like 16 or 17. I played copious amounts of World of Warcraft. I was the biggest fucking nerd on the planet. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed, right? And I went to a party, and this girl was there. And like I say, a party, like basically we sat around, you know, and whatever. And not knowing that the girl actually liked me, she said something like, "Is all you do is play World of Warcraft?" I'm like, God, like cut me down a notch, right? To talk about like that hurt, like that really stung, right? Like, what do you say about it? I don't think she meant anything by it at the time, but like people were in awe and wonderment that like they knew somebody that all they did was like quit school, played World of Warcraft all the time. You know what I mean? I dropped out of high school to play video games, right? And they were just, I'd say fascinated. I think the word fascinated is usually associated with things that are like good. You know what I mean? This didn't come across as something nice at the time. I don't think she meant anything by it, but it was super funny looking back at it now, because I think come to find out years later, the girl had a crush on me, which says loads about her, you know, more than it does about me. Um, yeah, but it was funny. You know, I'm like, God damn, dude, it stings, right? Cut me down a notch in front of all these people, all four of them or five of them or whatever it was. But she was, yeah, super pretty. Yeah, and I don't know what she's up to today, but they were just genuinely like, they didn't believe it. I'm like, how do you not believe it, right? Like, what's difficult to understand, right? I've grown out of it, God knows, but at the time, dude, I was like 17 years old. I was like deathly afraid that I would be one of the guys you see, uh, you know what I mean? Like 50 years old, living with his parents, playing World of Warcraft. Even at 17, dude, I was like deathly afraid of that being my ultimate fate, right? And thank God that it didn't turn out that way. You know, it's one of those, anytime push comes to shove, I always do all right, you know. And really, things like cryptocurrency, sort of like my saving grace at the time, right? Still is, but whereas like where there's usually not a lot of traditional options for like a high school dropout that is a computer enthusiast and really nothing more, you know. No formal education or anything either, just kind of a goofball. My tummy's growling, guys. Mom, pop pockets, right? I never did that. I was never that kind of guy. But it would be funny though, because we'd be playing World of Warcraft though, and there would always be some guy that you'd hear getting into a fight with his mom and shit all the time. Right? I forget. God, this guy. The audio of it exists somewhere. His name was Solar Curve, right? He was one of these like World of Warcraft elitists. He'd go around like talking shit to people all day, you know, and like. Um 10 feet tall on the internet, you know, type of guy, right? One time he left his thing open while he was talking. He was getting into an argument with his mom, dude. It was so, my face turned red, dude. It was so embarrassing. This was like premier, you know, Dr. World of Warcraft at the time, right? It was like, oh, wait, you mean to tell me he poops in a sock and screams at his mom for Hot Pockets just like the rest of us? Right, yeah, right. Yeah, if the fucking shit is somewhere, dude. Solar Curve getting into a fight with his mom, dude. If you were there, it was hilarious, because this is the type of guy that would like go around all day. You know, nobody knew the guy was like 15 or 16 years old either. I mean, you could kind of tell he was younger, but you couldn't tell he was like a kid, right? And freaking hearing him sit there and just And he was the type of guy that would shit talk people for living in their parents' basement. He's got a sports car, all this shit, right? All the time, one of them guys. Find out he was just like the rest of us, right? 10 feet tall on the internet, right? Right. Old fucking solar curve. He was a druid. He was pretty good though. He was skilled, but not that skilled, right? Like he was good enough to. The thing though is that the thing that I learned the best was that the best people in World of Warcraft aren't shit talkers. Really, they're kind of reserved, you know. And taking that lesson from my younger self, you know, I've tried to be the same way with anything. I try to be more respectful than not, right? And don't get me wrong, I was a silver-tongued little shithead on the internet like everybody else at that age. But as I've gotten older, you know. But the guys that you really respect are the guys that don't have to talk shit to show how good they are, you know what I mean? But yeah, for people that were there, man, they were there. They know how funny that was. What was it? Right. Oh, how they crumble. Yes. Right. My master plan. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Right. Ooh. Oh shit. I was piddling on my phone. So, since the last time you people seen me, the government didn't officially acknowledge the existence of aliens, so there's something, right? That's interesting, right? The last time we spoke, right, the government still said aliens didn't exist. Now that's a totally different thing. And this was just like last week, right? Kind of strange. Oh, I'm retarded. Oh, derp. Sorry. Not paying enough attention. It also doesn't help that the fucking sun's like right in my eyes. I can hardly see the fucking screen. Where did all my flat screen TVs go? Yeah. Last year I went for sushi for my birthday. Yesterday I just stayed home, man. I'm like, whatever, whatever about it, you know. I'm not the type of person, right? Like, and here's the thing: a stark reality that I've got to eventually figure out is, yeah, I'm 36 years old. At some point in my life, I have to get married to a woman at that, right? I've got to get married to a female, and at some point in time, it's kosher for me to say, and like, I don't get it, man. Like, I'm not that self-centered. I would assume, can we just do the thing on webcam or something? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want all of these people to take time out of their day to come. Like, that's not. Isn't that a bit much? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that about being self-centered shit, right? Like, no, take time off of work, Take one of your vacation days if your work allows you to take vacation, and come stand and watch me get married, right? Like, yeah, fuck that, dude. Don't RSVP. Don't show up if you don't want to. No pressure. It's entirely vestigial at that point. I'm doing it because it's tradition, right? I would think there's something wrong with you if you did show up, right? But it's a reality. I gotta come to that conclusion eventually. Like, how do you handle that kind of thing? Like, I'm not the type of person to want to. Like, I barely ask. Like, I don't invite people to parties. I don't. You know what I mean? I'm just. If that makes sense. Like, I don't invite people over. I don't request people's time. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to handle it really. I guess I'll figure it out when I get there. But that's one of my say many, but no, like my complex is always like, is this person bored right now? You know what I mean? Am I keeping this person entertained, or am I wasting their time? Because I don't like having my time wasted, so I'm always trying to be cautious, about that kind of thing. When it comes to like people's time and requesting their presence, and them feeling obligated to be somewhere at a place and certain time and all that stuff. I was just thinking about the other day. I'm like, I eventually get married, and that's gonna consist of me asking all these people that made fun of me for playing World of Warcraft when I was a kid to take time out of their busy schedule and watch me get married. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that's how it adds up in my brain. That might not be exactly how it is, but it does kind of seem that way. Like, I don't even like being the guy that has to put together a group in World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? I really don't. Much less like, hey, uh, difficult. Let's make this difficult, right? We all had a good thing going. But I am 36 now. I am 36, so I really do have to consider at what point in time. At what point in time do I? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not about trying to like make people be places at certain times and all that stuff. Maybe I'll get used to it. Yeah, this guy's not about trying to let us sheep this shit, so. The other mage get it? Yeah. I've killed this guy like every day this week for his calculator for this quest. Um, that's the punchline. Yep. I don't know why it's the same quest every day. Can't drink any more potions. Fizzy bubbler. I can only counterspell every other charged fist. Alright, now, let's do a rank 1 blizzard here. It's like strange. People are like monkey see, monkey do, right? That guy seen me doing it, now he's doing it, right? He's not even frost spec. Oh, shite. Alright, we get a res there. I almost never die here. Ever, actually. I think it's the first time ever. But I do get a... I can't get a battle res. We have a druid, a hunter, a warrior, a mage. I hate to have to burn the battle res here, but... yeah, sucks. Can I get a battle res? Yep. Yes. Perfect timing. Sort of. Ah. Yes. I can't sheep that guy. Pull the heals off him. Hopefully the other mage has a counter spell. Resist. All right. Crit and dodge. All right now. Oh, the projector. All right. Well, I might stream